Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Ironclad RC. I'm Big B. So we got the MHZ powerboat, 57-inch Bulgarian catamaran on the block. We're going to refer to this as the B57. This is my first build segment. We're going to actually reinforce the tunnel and the tip of this boat. We're basically going to pour the tips with epoxy. I've got a lot of stringy and cut up carbon fiber that we're going to pack in the tip, the tunnel, right, and reinforce the seam up here, right. All of this will be reinforced, the inside of the sponsons, the outside of the tunnel. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. We're also going to take this 2-inch, 2-ounce carbon fiber tape, cloth tape, and we're actually going to reinforce the transom of this boat, right? We're going to reinforce all of this. We'll wrap it around this way. We'll go this way with it. Get all of this like ironclad, right? Because we got a big scale rudder. We got a couple blocks that are going to get mounted back here for those big drives. And we got to, yeah, it's going to be a heavy build, right? I mean, we're going to try to keep it light, but it's going to be a big, heavy, fast boat. So we want to take some proper precautions to try to reinforce and kind of like bulletproof this thing, right? So I got the boat sitting on the ground here. I got a mat down here so I don't damage the tips or anything. I got my aluminum rod, taped some 40 grit onto the end of it, and I'm basically just going in here and knocking any of the loose weave, you know, just roughing up the best I can, right? Trying to get everything sanded. Of course, I can't really do a good job while I'm holding the camera in my hand. So, just kind of explaining to you what I'm doing, right? Going in there, getting down into the corners, like really trying to rough it up so we get a good adhesion when we go to actually lay down the epoxy, right? Basically use a shop vac and vacuum out everything out the inside, right? Got some alcohol here, right? I'm gonna go heavy with it. Okay. I taped a cloth on the end of this aluminum rod here, right? You guys see that? Yeah, this is one of my favorite pastimes right here. Looking through my drawers for something, because I never freaking know what's in these. I should know it by heart. As many times as I've freaking done this, it's like one of my favorite pastimes, right? Looking for a damn whatever. Looking for a razor blade right now. All I could find was this. Just searched for 10 minutes for a damn razor blade. Finally found a couple of them. We'll put these bad boys right here. We'll put one here, and one right here. Okay, so I got you guys in the boat. This is the top that I'm moving right now. So you see the very forward part, that white line? That's adhesive where they put the seam together, right? And then you could see the sponsons there on each side. So yeah, it definitely needs some carbon fiber. Yeah, I got it pretty clean. I got it dried out. It's been about 30 minutes or so. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get some epoxy mixed up. We'll go ahead and use the rest of this old epoxy, and then we're gonna mix it in with this new stuff because I don't think I got enough of the old. Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. Get that mixed up. Probably won't need any like thickener or anything like that. I did get some charcoal black pigment. This is for resin for this build. For epoxying everything in, we'll use some black pigment in our resin, so it'll give it a nice clean look. So yeah, let me get something to mix this epoxy up with. I really don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see this, but I got my paintbrush that I want to use taped onto my aluminum stick. I use aluminum because it's easy to bend and kind of holds its memory. It's easy to work with. I got me a little handle bent into it here. Mixed up 150 grams, 100 grams of resin, 50 grams of hardener. Okay. The only thing I have not prepped up is my piece of carbon fiber, which I'll do here in just a minute. I got all this ready to go, right? That's all ready to go. And I got the boat kind of taped off here. I'm gonna pour about half of this in both sponsons. So the 75 grams going in right off the bat. 35 and 35, whatever. So I'll try to get it straight. So let's get this paintbrush in here, and I'm just gonna coat this tunnel, the tip of my tunnel, right? I'm gonna dip in both sponsons here and coat the whole inside of this tip. Like we're coating all of this up, like up to here, right? This probably coated up to here. I'm gonna do the tunnel last. It's gonna be the hardest part. I'll do the tips first. You can hear it sloshing around in there. Okay, so I'm gonna take me a bunch of this carbon fiber. I picked all the tape off of it because I had the edges of it taped. I'll go right in. About the same on the other, for the other side. It's actually a pretty good bit of carbon fiber I just dumped in there. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and find me a dry stick, something I can poke around in there that's dry. Okay, so let's see what it looks like in here. Oh yeah, that's looking good. That's looking real good. So basically there's not a whole lot you guys can see right now, to be quite honest. I'm really just gonna kind of pack this in. I'm trying to get it pushed up onto the sides, packed into the tip. Pull it up the side, you know. Pretty much done. What you do, if you run into the issue where like the carbon fiber, it wants to like stick to your brush inside the boat, right? And you can't really like get it to lay down and like kind of like stick to the hull. And when you go to pull it back, it pulls the carbon fiber up. What you do is you actually get you some alcohol, which is what this is. Dip your brush in some alcohol. I mean, you don't really have to go too awful crazy with it. You know, dab it maybe a little bit, right? And then you go in the hull with that brush with alcohol on it, right? Epoxy won't stick to alcohol. And then you try to like pull it up, and get it to smear and like stick to the side, right? See how the center section, right here, it's like pretty much flat to the hole. On the sides, I got it packed in the tip, and then I grabbed that big old pile of carbon fiber, and then I smeared it, pulled it up the side, right? In all the corners and everywhere there's a seam, right? Everywhere there's a seam, and it actually turned out really freaking good. Really good. What I'm actually doing now is I got an old bed sheet here. You can use a rag or whatever. Gonna tape it onto my other rod here. I hope. Maybe. Some fresh alcohol, right? Dab this in this fresh alcohol. I don't want to get it near that damn. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm cleaning the hole. You know, just make sure I got it nice and clean, because all we really wanted to work was the tip. Now I'm just gonna clean everything. We'll wipe the hole down with some paper towels and alcohol, and we'll be done. We'll be done. When you use those loose hairs, right? When you use these loose hairs, it's just like when they get tangled all up with each other, you know, and then laid down. It's just like you're basically using a chop strand mat in that area. You got it laid down, you got it epoxy bonded together, right? Once it's cured, it's intertwined and interlocked with each other, okay? And it's like the best way to do it, really. I mean, and you don't even really have to like make, you know, you really don't. I mean, yeah, I like to make sure mine's like laid down, right? But I've seen guys pour the sponsons, put their cloth in the epoxy, right? Get it wet in the epoxy, and then put the cloth in the tip and barely pack it in there. They basically use the cloth in the tip of the sponson, kind of like this, right? And it's like a support, right? It's supported from all different angles. The epoxy was wetted out, and it's kind of like a internal structure in the tip. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's a good way to do it. There's my shop dog. Yeah, that's my Loran, like the old GPS tracking back in the late 80s and 90s, you know. Loran, and then we got Doppler. He's the radar. Okay, so it's the next day. We're about to hit the inside of this with some 40 real quick. It's solid, boys. Yes, we did it right. So we used 150 grams of resin epoxy for reinforcement, for weight. We used a lot of the resin because we were putting a lot of carbon fiber in there. We needed resin to soak it up, right? And it's also, like I said, for weight in the tips to help keep the bow down, right? Like go ahead and figure that into our center of gravity before we build the boat. So it's solid, boys. Like, I don't know if you guys look at the reflection, right? It's not moving. It's solid. So this is what it looked like before, right? It's about right there is where I put my carbon fiber on this corner here, and this corner, like right here, right, and then all up in here, All this is reinforced. The tunnel, I tried to pull it up to like right in here, right? So yeah, right there it starts to, you can see it moving, and then right here, nothing. So the seam, the tips is reinforced on the front of the boat, right? It's easy to nose into something. You hit a dock. I mean, if you don't reinforce it, it could blow these seams right out. Like just bringing it home. It's a big boat, right? It's gonna be a heavy boat, and any little, you know, like you hit something with one of these tips. Yeah, so I wanted to reinforce it, right? And the extra weight helps us out. So I got some 40 here. Got it stuck to my hand, and I'm just gonna go in there and kind of knock any of the stringy carbon fiber off, right? I could barely get my damn arm in here, but I can. So I just got done sanding. I'm gonna try to put you in the boat with the camera light on, see what you guys can see. It looks pretty damn good. I just sanded in there, and it actually looks all right. It looks all right to me. Oh yeah, that's solid, man. That's pretty solid. Yeah, I'll take that. So now I'm actually doing the same thing back here, because I'm about to not so much do the same thing I did up here. I'm actually going to cut a piece of 2 or 3 pieces of cloth. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to put one right here, and then one in the center here, right? Like this probably. Because it's going to have a big rudder on it. It's a big boat, and we need reinforcement, right? So I felt around in there. I kind of know where I need to hit. I've already got what I could with my hands, right? And really all I need to get is like right here and right there, and that's kind of what I'm concentrating on with this 40. Back here I actually ordered up a this is carbon fiber tape, right? Oh, that's a piece of crap. I'm throwing them scissors away right now. This is a carbon fiber, 2-inch carbon fiber, 2-ounce, 3K twill tape, right? Probably go across this like that on both sides, and then this piece right here, I'm going to cut it a little bit long and kind of do that number there, right on the transom, you know. And then we could put our rudder on there, and everything should stay put, because we got those blocks that are going here. So we need to bulletproof the transom like we did the front of the boat. Okay, so I got 4 yards, I think. Yeah, 4 yards. So I should have enough to do this and the hatch opening. You know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? To get something sanded, you gotta do what you gotta do. All right, so I got the boat stood up. I got some foam up there, you know, and I kind of got it wedged in place, right? I just took some alcohol and I doused the whole inside of the transom with it. I've been wiping it up with this cloth right here, wiping everything down, just kind of letting it evaporate real quick before I start laying down epoxy. It's 91%, so it evaporates pretty quick. So this is before. I got it. Yeah, you see, they it looks like they just used scraps. You see that, like right in here, they just looks like they just used some like real thin scraps of carbon fiber. You know, it's kind of done sloppily.
Right.
So the other day, these scissors, they would not cut this carbon fiber. I sharpened them, so we're gonna find out if they sharpen it. So I want to put a piece here. I'm gonna stop it about right there, right? So about right here. Oh, look at there. Put the old big B cut on it, boy. So we're gonna do that on the other side. I would love to like run it like this, just one big solid piece, but I don't think it's gonna conform to all the corners like I want it to, right? So we're gonna do it in a couple different pieces here. Okay, so I got my carbon fiber cut. I kind of notched it here so it bends around this corner. Probably need to put another one in it. We'll do that in a minute. This is gonna go like this. Kind of fits in there perfect. And then we got one for this side. Epoxy. All right, so you guys really aren't going to be able to see too much. So basically just gonna lay out the epoxy, put the carbon fiber on, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Right. Okay, so I got the two sides done, and I just laid down the centerpiece. Looks good. It's looking really good. All right, so I basically cut a couple of narrow pieces. These are getting dropped in. Oh, damn, it almost went right where I wanted it. They're getting put, wow, not right there, on this corner right here, right? Right there on that corner. I got one on this side already, and I just put this one in. All right, so I'm pretty much done. We got the nose of the boat, the bow, the tips reinforced. We got the transom where we're going to bolt hardware reinforced, right? So this stuff actually worked really good. It laid out so nice. I mean, it didn't fray because it's sewn on the edges, so you have this nice strip of material to work with. It's the same weight as the Venom carbon from Innovative Composite Technologies. Same stuff, just from a different company. I'll throw a link in the description. So this was the tools I used. Not so much that. I actually changed paintbrushes. That wide one, it just didn't work, right? And I was able to actually bend this one. I like using these art paintbrush sets. I really do. You get to pick what size. Not all boats need a super big brush, you know, and a lot of times those acid brushes, they just don't cut it right. So that's just me, you know. And you could pick the right brush, cut some of the bristles off so you don't soak up 10 grams of freaking epoxy in your brush when you're laying out a project, right? So check it out. It come out so freaking good. Oh man, it turned out so nice. Check it out, man. Wow, that looks really good. So I did the 3 pieces like I showed you. I had one here, it wrapped up the side. One here, it wrapped up the side. I did one this way on this little center section. And then I cut another piece and went down right here on this corner. Cut another piece, went around this corner. And then I cut another piece that attached those 2 pieces, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces in here. And I actually had to mix up a little more epoxy. So around 20 grams is what I ended up with, because I ended up putting a couple more pieces in here. But it turned out really good. That should be ironclad. Yep. So this is how I'm gonna call it bulletproof, the transom and the tips of your hull, you know. Not all boats need it. It just depends on what you're doing with that boat. This boat's going to be going fast, so I figured that extra time and carbon fiber may actually help. And, you know, make the boat last longer, right? Yeah. So you want to say bye? Yeah, bye. Bye-bye. High five. We're finished. Yeah. Oh, no. He got a haircut. His haircut yesterday. It looks good. There he goes. Yeah. Speaking of looking good, look at that. Look at that bad boy. Come on. Oh, that looks good, right? It looks good. I got the wings. I prepped them up. I sanded them. They're ready for a second application of paint. We're ready to roll, boy. Ready to roll. This guy over here, she's ready for pretty much ready for her hardware. Man, we're rocking. The tips were a lot harder, you know, a lot of prep work goes in to both, you know, sanding, cleaning, because it's hard to get to these areas, right? Sanding and cleaning, it's time consuming. Actually, like laying down the resin and carbon fiber, that's the easy part. The prep part's the hard part. 99.99999% prep, 0.0001% actual carbon fiber, right? So we'll see you guys next time. Yep. Thanks for watching.